Oops. What's going on here? Pushing thing. Okay. I've been working on this now for one day, 7 hours and 17 minutes. That means I've been connected to the internet. That's the amount of time that my computer's been turned on because I haven't slept yet. And because I wanted to get this done, and I think better when I'm not distracted by noise and things. So what is this? Right, so we have our turbine, which is the red and pink or violet, whatever you want to call it, which spins around. Now the centrifugal driver mechanism, which is over here, works in the complete opposite, because what we have is we have a vortices, spinning air currents spinning around. This is the stator for the rotary system, the centrifugal fan arrangement. Stick the X-ray on. So the air is basically being spun centrifugally by the rotary system, and when you prevent the air from flowing, you get a tremendous amount of suction, or tremendous amount of output power on the output section. Well, so I need that energy because I want to feed it into a turbine which I've been designing. So turn that X-ray thing off. So these units are going to be basically coupled together. So there's going to be a drive motor on these sections which pump the air out. We'll have probably multi-stages, and probably 8 to 10 stages. It's going to take a lot of printing, a lot of effort, and I'm going to have to order some more 3D print filament because the filament I'm using is absolutely crud. So going back to the turbine, the difference with this is we don't want the circular movement of air. I'll try and explain it as best I can, because the turbine is not going to be using centrifugal forces. It works in a different way. What we need is an airflow that's pretty much in a direct line. Let me bring up my paint program. I'll try and explain it. Right, let's just get. I think I'll go with blue. Right, so we have our paintbrush. So we've got our, sorry about this, this is a very crude drawing. Right, let's imagine that this, I better pick a red. Right, I can't draw, hang on, let's just do a box. It'd be a lot easier with a box. Right, so we have basically our prime, well, not prime mover, our first stage turbine. Now what happens with the airflow is that the airflow will come in a straight line, and it will deflect off the blades in the turbine, and the air will go off in a tangent like this. The problem with that is that to have subsequent turbines below that, what we end up having is inefficiency, because the airflow is no longer in a straight line. The airflow ends up going sort of like that, in a complete mess. So we lose our efficiency. So what do we do to correct that? Well, we have a stator. Oops, wrong colour again. We have a stator. Okay, so what does a stator do? Right, the stator doesn't move, it's stationary. It's like, imagine a lot of buildings and tower blocks and streets, and you're walking through town, you get blown away by a gust of wind on the street corner. So what we have is something which basically stops that vortices from taking place. So it straightens that air current so that it becomes straight again, so that we can then have another turbine underneath, and so on. Stator, turbine, so on. So instead of the air going crazy and wacko and everywhere, what we have is effectively would be something like this. The air would come out, it would go off in a tangent, it would hit the stator, it would straighten out, come down, go off in a tangent, straighten out, come down, go in a tangent like this. So our airflow would basically be focused so that we can capture that energy on the rotors, so the rotors can do some work instead of the airflow basically getting out of, getting further and further and further and further in a spiral where it's no longer pushing the blades. Alright, might have to explain that. I'm not going to save it. So let's go back here and we'll show you what I mean. So the red is our rotor, which is spinning. So the air comes down, hits the, we have a certain amount of, on the back of the impeller we have some suction on there, we have some pressure on there, so basically we've got a vacuum forming on the back of the, on the front of the impeller, and we have compression air on the back of the impeller. So it's coming down and it wants to go off because it's been directed by the impeller in that direction. You see, this is what gives us our motion in a forward momentum. So it comes down and it gets down here and it hits, oops, what's this? Oh, it hits our stator, and our stator basically says, no, you're not going that way, you're going this way. So the stator, which is not rotating, what gives us the boost of airflow, the air is drawn in, comes in on the centrifugal side. Oops, I lost myself in the wall again. Oops, I keep doing this. The airflow is sucked down into the next rotary system. It's flung out by centrifugal forces and leverage basically as well, because these blades are spirals, so it's pushed outwards. It hits our ailerons, I can't say the word, it's because I'm tired. Anyway, it hits our ailerons, which shape the airflows and directs the airflow down to our stators. This is the rotary, this is the centrifugal system, so we don't want the air to continually hit that wall, the green wall. We want it to be focused back. So these are like edge aircraft wings basically. Now I have to admit, I've 3D printed one of these last night and it didn't come out so well, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to thicken them out a little bit, because the filament basically just, it was flaky as hell. Anyway, it's because the filament is just rubbish. I'm going to order some more stuff anyway. Anyway, it redirects into our stator, which is here. The stator basically carries the airflow back towards the centre, and as you know, with a piece of string and a nut on the end, if you're spinning it and you shorten the string, it accelerates. So the air is accelerating as it's coming in here. and it goes back into our next stage, which is down there, and it gets drawn into the next centrifugal rotary system, rotary fan, which basically this is how a vacuum cleaner works anyway. And then it goes in, and then the only difference is we're going to have more stages, and yeah. Anyway, this is the theory. It's something I'm playing around with, something to test with. And we've got to work out losses and see if there's any losses and whatever. So anyway, it continues on, same thing again, all the way down. I think this time we've got, oh look, we've got another one. It's sucking it in, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's been drawn in. It's each time it goes down here, it's been sped up. We get more and more suction and more and more. Ooh, I lost myself. I lost myself in the wall. Where am I? I've gone through this wall. That's what I've done. There we are. It's a tight space, this, you know. And then it goes through here. I've lost again on the wall. Anyway, I give up. But you get the idea. It just goes through there until it gets to the yeah, until it comes out the output there. That's the outlet there. And once it comes out of here, then we direct that airflow into our turbine. Right. I think you get the idea. And then we see how much energy we can capture on our turbine. This thing is not going to be running like an aircraft thing. Don't get me wrong. This is no way it's going to be that fast. It's not. We're looking to get 1,000 RPM out of it, so it's not going to be going that fast. The thing would fly apart because it's 3D printed plastic. It would just fly apart. The point is, what I'm trying to do is achieve more torque. So, you know, more leverage, more torque. That's what we're trying to do. Anyway, that's the update. I think that's about it. I left that updates thing on all the way. Oops. Never mind.